Hey, folks. Close enough? So when I saw that, I had gone to one of these a few years ago, and I got on the mailing list, and when I saw that it was about money, I said, oh, that's something that's like I'm really involved in. So I will actually come and actually tell a story because it's about money. And my background in money is that when I was a little kid, I would always have a paper route or sell Christmas cards. I was always like, money was always important to me. Our family was not wealthy, and I had a savings account, and I had a coin collection. I'd get 100 silver dollars and look through them and all this kind of stuff. And then I became a hippie in the late 60s, and the thing I learned there in 7 years of living in communes was to share. So as I got married and had a kid and started like having a real job and all those kind of things, I always wanted to give. I mean, it was just wired in. You know, if there was a 12-step program, I didn't take it. You know, so I was like, when I was working for the city of Burlington, they had a United Way campaign, and I always gave more than anyone else, and it didn't make sense to me because I knew there were people that had a lot more money, but I just was wired that way. I couldn't help it, and I never got rid of it. So as I was working there, I also didn't want to work there until I was 65. So I said, what am I going to do? I don't have that many skills. How am I going to get out of this game at 55, which was my goal? So I said, well, all my grandparents came from Italy, and then had nothing, and one of my grandparents became a pretty successful real estate developer. My father and two of my aunts were part-time real estate salespeople. I said, well, I kind of know that game, and I think I can do that. I think I'm good with people, I'm good with my hands. So I got into that. I had a good time in Burlington, and I had a lot of dumb luck, which I'm going to make a bumper sticker that says dumb luck is my co-pilot, because I really believe that. So it was a combination of having kind of a sense of it, how to do it, and dumb luck, and I did really, really well. So I met my goal of leaving my day job at 55, and I kept buying properties because it just was easy to do at that point. I had equity lines, I could pull money, I could just make it happen. And I've tutored a lot of people in how to do that. So a bunch of my friends are pretty good pretty good landlords now. But I had accumulated some wealth that I never expected to accumulate. It wasn't in my history to do that. And I got concerned about it because what's going to happen when I die? We have one kid, and our kid lives very frugally and doesn't need a big pile of money. So the standard model of you give your money to your children, not so much. You know, my money came from Vermont, and my child doesn't even live in Vermont. I wanted it to go back to Vermont. So I had the idea, well, it's property, so maybe the Champlain Housing Trust would like to get our property and turn it into affordable housing when we're dead. And we'll leave a little bit for our kid. We had something figured out for that. So I met with them a couple times. It was a couple of good meetings. They said, well, it's a little confusing. You've got like 17 units that we don't know what to do. So we're going to put you together with the Vermont Community Foundation, and you can figure something out with them. Now, I kind of really knew and loved the Vermont Community Foundation because I started Bike Recycle Vermont as a volunteer when I left my day job, and they had given us a $10,000 grant at one point. I said, okay, cool. So I had a couple of meetings with the Vermont Community Foundation, and on the second meeting, they said, well, we were talking to the Land Trust. They can't guarantee that if you donate your properties that they are going to be kept as affordable housing. I said, but we have another idea for you. So there's something called I have trouble saying this, charitable remainder unit trust. That's a tongue twister for me for some reason, a CRUT. And what that is you, doesn't have to be the Vermont Community Foundation, but there are different nonprofits that can deal with this. So you donate something, cash is lovely for them. If it's something else, they turn it into cash. And then while you're alive, they give you a certain percentage of what's left in that at the end of the year. And then when you're dead, a certain percentage of that every year goes to charities forever. It becomes a perpetual fund. I said, whoa, sign me up. So it was complicated, but we set this trust up, donated properties. I became the initial trustee, which meant I continued to manage them and take care of them, didn't own them anymore. And then I also became the realtor and sold them all. And at the end of all of that, the work that was involved in maintaining 15 units and the 60 or so tenants that I had and all that stuff turned into 4 times a year, they put money in our checking account. So that just kind of completed last fall, and I just started really feeling the benefit of that workload off of my life, and boy, do I appreciate it. And so anyway, if anyone wants to know anything about landlording, talk to me sometime. If anyone wants to know anything about Charitable Remainder Unit Trust, talk to me sometime. I love to promote things that work, and that's kind of like the most enjoyable thing in my life. So thank you very much.